In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a full beginner guide to trains inside of the Minecraft Create mod. So I'm going to cover everything you need to know, from creating tracks to how to create a train station, how to create a functioning train, things like signals, and basically everything you need to know to get started with using trains inside of the Create mod. So stick around and you're going to learn a lot. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to talk about the train tracks. So train tracks are what you're going to use to go ahead and actually make the train track, of course. And this is what they look like. And to make them, you're going to go ahead and you need to do this recipe sequence here, which is iron nugget, zinc nugget, and then a press here. And this is going to go ahead and turn a slab into a train track. And this is basically how you make them. Now to go ahead and place them down, you just right click on the floor and that's going to place one track like this. And you can see it takes up 3 blocks. Now if you want to, you can just go ahead and right click track by track to go ahead and place it. Or you can go ahead and we can go and hold it and we can go and do this. This means we can basically bulk place it. So basically hold click on the track. That's going to bulk place it. So we can do like this in a straight line. Or we can even do tracks that go to the side like this. And what you'll notice is once you go too sharp, it's going to make the lines red and dotted. It will say too sharp and it won't allow you to place them. So at the bottom, you can see it says can connect. This means that we can connect it. And basically we can go ahead and just place it like this. And then when we're ready, we can go ahead, right click it, and that's going to automatically fill every single piece of track over there, and it just saves you a lot of time so you don't have to go ahead and place them manually. Now also, when you're placing in this mode, you can see at the bottom it's going to say hold left control for maximum turn. Essentially, when you hold left control, it's going to smooth it out like this rather than it being an aggressive turn. So if I wanted it round here like this, you can see the turn is different because it's done like that. Or you can do it like that where it just goes aggressive. It's really up to you. It doesn't make too much difference overall. Now something else you can do with this is you can make it go up blocks. So it doesn't have to just go flat. If you want it to be raised, you can go ahead and do that. So if I show you here, I can go ahead and create this up here. Now it can't be too steep. If I go ahead and do this, it should be able to build up to here. Just like that. And you see, you know, it's pretty smooth there, just like that. But obviously you can't do it too steep. And it will tell you if it's too steep with the red again. Something else you can do, which is pretty cool, is you can go ahead and grab this item here called the metal girder. And you can actually do this with any block that's in your offhand. So put a block in your offhand. And then once you go ahead and connect this up a bit like this, it's going to go ahead and place that block underneath. So you can see the metal girder is underneath here. And it just looks a bit cooler than this. It looks a bit more natural, I guess you could say. And as you can see, I can do it with these logs here, for example. Or I could do it with like andesite. I can go ahead, place it here. And it's going to go ahead and automatically place it. Now with the blocks, it's not going to curve the blocks. So you can see it looks a little bit weird. That's why the girder is quite good. Now something else you can actually do, which is pretty cool, is you can use these tracks across dimensions. So if I go up to a nether portal here, you're going to see once I place next to it, there's going to be an extra block that places inside the portal. And now if I go into the nether dimension, you can see here, I have the track here. And I can continue making the track go through the nether just like this. So that's actually a pretty cool thing. And it basically means that it's going to travel through here. So yeah, that's something that you can do. It's pretty useful if you want to collect lava or maybe you want to travel faster through the nether, for example. This is just a really good use of it. And something else to note is that even when a chunk is not loaded, the train is still going to pass through it. So it almost works as if the train is going to load the chunk. And this doesn't matter if it's at a train station, it's still going to stop. So they're going to function just as if the chunk was loaded, which is really, really useful. It means you don't have to chunk load the whole track. Okay, so let's talk about actually making the basic train itself. So the first one we're going to need is a train station. And we want to go ahead and look at the track here. And you can see there's an arrow. So if it points this way, that's the direction it's going to go. If it points the other way, that's the direction it's going to go. So you want to go up to the track, right click it here, and that's going to say target track selected. Now you can go up to anywhere and place the block, and that's going to basically bind those together. So inside of here you've got your track station, and you can click on here and you can actually go ahead and change the name. So you could say station 1 for example, and this is just going to help you stay organized. So from here we can go ahead and create the track, or create the train itself. To do that we want to go inside of the station and we want to press this button here that says create new train. And what this is going to do, it's going to make some of the tracks this color here, this blue, and then we're going to go ahead and place a train casing here, and this is going to go ahead and be our train. Now what we can do as well, you can see these ones are also highlighted. If you place another one here, it's going to connect these up and you're going to have a train that's 2 carriages long essentially. So from here what we can do is we can go ahead and make our train. We can use any kind of block here. I'm just going to use this casing round here. And I've just built out the train just like this. In order to go ahead and drive the train, you're going to need one of these, which is a train controls. You can just place this at the front here. And then if you want the train to be automatic, you can use this thing here called a blaze burner. This will essentially mean that you don't have to drive it. Now another important thing here is that we have to go ahead and glue all of this together so that it's a train. And to do that you just right click on each block and you just want to go ahead and connect it up. And when you hover over it, you should be able to see that it should all be like green, and that's how you know you've connected it up. But they all need to connect this middle block here, so you can see the one underneath the blaze burner here. Make sure they're all connected up like that, because if not, it's not going to work. Now once you've done that, you can go over to our train station here, and we can go down here and press assemble train. Now if it works, it's just going to say here unnamed train. You'll know that you've created the train. If not, it will give you some kind of error here. Often you've probably missed gluing something, so make sure you glue all of that together. Once we've done that, we can call the train something, so I'm just going to call it train 1. And here you go, you can see this is our train, and we can actually go ahead and just drive it here. So first of all, if we want to drive it manually, we can just right click on here, and you can see that they're controlling the train now. The controls are very easy. If you want to go forward, press W, and backwards is S. Now you can see that if you go too fast, you will fall off the train, just like that. Now what we can also do is when we approach a train station like this, we can hold spacebar, and this is basically going to go ahead and get us onto the train station here and lined up, and then we can just right click to get off of it, just like that. So that's how you basically make a basic train, and now I'm going to talk to you about some of the more advanced features of it. Okay, so now if we want to go ahead and automate the train stations, it's quite easy. So we have to go ahead and make sure we have at least 2 on the track. So I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to create another train station. And something to note is that you want to make sure that it's in the same direction. So see, this one is facing backwards on the arrow, this one is facing the correct way. I can go ahead and place that there, and then I can go ahead and place my second station here just like that. Now of course, if you want to, I think I would recommend this. Go inside and name them. So this can be track 2, as you're going to need this for the scheduling. So you want to go ahead and get yourself this item here that's called a train schedule. And when you go ahead and right click on it, you're going to be able to set this all up. So we can start off with an action here. And there's a few different actions, but we've got travel to station. So first of all, we can pick station or track 2. Let's try that one. And we can go ahead and tick that. And then we can go ahead and set an action here. So this action here is once it gets to that one, it can be delayed for 5 seconds, which basically means that it will go ahead and wait. But you can got other things here. You've got wait until redstone, wait until players are seated, wait until the station's powered. You've got all the different ones you can fiddle with here. But let's say we want it to go here and we want it to wait for 10 seconds. We can use the scroll wheel. It's going to go ahead and wait for 10 seconds once it gets there. And that's going to be the action there. Now we can also add conditions here, so we can add another condition if we want to. But the schedule is now going to go to track 2, and it's going to wait for 10 seconds. And then we can add another action, and then we can say go to station 1 here. We can go ahead and change this to wait for 10 seconds here. So what it's going to do is going to go to track 1, it's going to go to station 2, and then we can go ahead and set it to loop forever. Now again, inside of the actions, there are other actions. So we've got travel to station, we have update schedule title, limit max speed, power redstone link, waypoint through station, and you can just scroll to select different options that you've got there, so you can select those. Now, once we're happy with this, we can go ahead and press the check mark. Again, if we want to, we can turn this off so it won't loop forever. If you want it to do once or something like that, we can go ahead and check it, and then we can go over to our train and we can pass this over to our blaze here. And once you right click on it, it should go ahead and start doing the journey that we've made for it. So you can see it stopped there it should stop for 10 seconds, and then it should go ahead in a second and start and go to the next station that we've created. There we go. Nice. So we can see the train is actually working automatically, and that was very easy to set up. There was no issues there at all. Now, something else you can do with the train station, which is pretty cool, is you can go ahead and use a comparator with it. And what this is going to do is it's going to go ahead and send a signal once the train arrives at the stop. So what I can do is I can put a comparator here. I can go ahead and I can set this up to some kind of redstone here. So let's say I want to go ahead and connect it up to this lamp. So essentially what's going to happen is now, once the train gets to this track here, this is going to turn on, which is going to go ahead and turn the lamp on. And obviously there's a lot of different uses for this. And you can see as it comes around here, this turns on, goes up here, and then goes to the lamp. So that's just a pretty cool use of it for, you know, builds, just something cool you can do. Something else that you can set up, which is pretty cool, is this display board here. And it's pretty easy to go ahead and set up. Essentially, you need this thing called a display link. You've got your display board, and then you need some kind of cogwheel to set it up here. And you need to be at least 32 RPM, I believe. I tried at the base level, and it just was not fast enough. So you need to set it up about this fast. And to set it up is really easy. You go ahead and grab one of these, which is the display link. And you want to go ahead, find the board, right click on it, that will select the board, place it on top of the train station here. And essentially what that's going to do is it's going to send the signal out here to the board. Now it might take it will take it to you have to go to the train station first for the schedule to be sent across. But then it should go ahead and set up there, and you can make it as big as you like, really. You can see now it says departs in 10, and it's going to go ahead and count down to 5. And then once it's departing, it's going to go ahead and go off here, and it's gone. So that's a pretty cool feature that you can use. Yeah, just a cool feature, really. You can also on here actually change the type of information. So you can change it to the station summary, for example, and that's going to basically tell you where the train is. It's going to tell you a lot of information about it, and you can change, the lines it's writes on, all that kind of stuff. You can see here I need to extend it a bit, but there's a lot of features you can do with that, and it's pretty cool. Now, there's actually a ton of customization you can do to the train itself. For example, you can add things like a seat. This allows you just to sit on it. You can do things like adding a fluid tank, and on top of that adding a steam whistle, which is steam powered, of course. You can add things like chests on here. You can add barrels, which makes it a bit faster. But yeah, you can go ahead and add all of that. Now, if you have some kind of animal, so let's say we have a sheep, for example, and we want to go ahead and put it on the train, instead of having to, push it so it goes into the seat, we can get the sheep there, right click on it with a lead, right click on the seat, and it's going to go ahead and sit on the seat there. Now remember to go ahead and use the glue here to go ahead and connect everything up. So you can see here I'm just right clicking on all of the items to make sure that they connect up to the train here. I think that's every single thing there. And I can go back into our train station here. I can go ahead and assemble the train, and I can go ahead and give it the schedule here, and now it should go ahead and start running. There we go, it's now running, and you see all of that stuff is attached to it. So if you've got some kind of functionality you want to put to this, maybe you need to transport items or animals or something like that, you can go ahead and do that on here very easily. Now there's a ton more things you can add to this, but those are just a few base ones you might want to use, which can be pretty useful. Something else we can use, which is a pretty cool feature, is the train observer. And the way this works is you can go ahead and use it to detect if the train has got a certain block on it. And by using that, you can change the direction of tracks and stuff like that. So it's very easy to set up. You just want to go ahead on the track, and you're going to see here, just like before, you can just right click on the track, and then you can go ahead and place the block down. That's going to link them up. Now, what you can do here is on the top of the train observer, you're going to see there's a little square that lights up when you hover over it. You can go ahead and put a block on there. You can put something like a liquid, for example. You can put that on there. I've got stone in the chest, so I'm going to place that in here. I'm going to put a redstone out of here like that. And basically this is going to go ahead and detect on the train if there is this block on it. So when it goes past, it's going to scan the train to see if this is on it. And if it is, it's going to go ahead and light it up. So you can see here inside of the chest, I have some stone. So now when it goes past this, the signal is going to light up because it has stone in it. And this is really useful in case you want to have some kind of conditional logic where the tracks change direction based upon what's inside. So that's just a cool feature that you can add. Another block that we can go ahead and use with our train tracks is this one called the train signal. And this is useful as it allows us to create a redstone signal when the train goes over this block. So for example, what we can do here is we can go ahead and set one down here, and we have to do it directionally again, so it means if it's traveling this way. We can right click on the track and we can go ahead and place this down here. So now once the train goes over that, that's going to connect up that signal there. We can also then put one here and connect that up over here like this. And we can go ahead, put another one here, bind that one up over here like that. And then lastly, we can go ahead and bind one up here just like that. So now the way this is going to work is that if we had some tracks that are intersecting each other, for example, if we had this crossroad here and we had different trains going different directions, this is going to stop them from crashing into each other. And this is basically going to go ahead, and if one of these is activated, it's going to deactivate the other ones. That's how you can set it up. Now, if you are kind of struggling with how this all works, you can actually go onto the train signal here. You can pick one up, and you can go ahead and use their sort of help guide. You just hover over it, hold W, and it's basically going to go ahead and teach you a little bit about how you can do this. You can scroll through these, and it's going to go more in depth about how to connect it all up. They also have a section here for the brass ones, I believe it is. And essentially, you can set it up so that the logic works that if there's two trains here, it's not going to block up the road, that kind of thing, just so that it works smoothly. And you can set this up really, really well so it just works efficiently and there's no crashes. You can also get this thing called a Nixie tube here. And the way that this works, you just place it on top of the signals. And these are going to just show you how it's running. So you can see here that it's going to go ahead and change the color of the track. So you see this one's red right now because it's on there. But basically it's going to go up, it's going to activate it. And then when it does that, this is going to change. So you can just see how the signals are all working, just in case you need to debug anything. And it also makes it, a bit visually nicer as well. And you can see here, once it goes over, the signals are all changing. So if I was to put another train on here, the signals on the other one would change. And it just means that they're not going to crash into each other. So that's a really cool feature. But if you need any help debugging any of this, you can go inside of the sort of help guide here. And that's going to show you exactly what you need to know. Now, if for some reason you want to go ahead and move your train, you can just go up to it with a wrench. This is a a create wrench. Right click on it, and then you can go ahead and just relocate it. So you can just bring it anywhere. I could bring it up to here, for example, and I go ahead and relocate it there. And something else you can also do is say that we've built this train here, but you want to add more to it. You can go inside the train station here, and we can go to the disassemble train button. You might have to do it on the one that you made it on, to be fair. Yeah, you can go ahead and disassemble it, and essentially that's going to break all the blocks apart. It's not going to break it all apart, but it's going to stop it from being like one thing. So you can disassemble it here. It means you can add stuff to it if you need to, which is very useful in case you want to modify it and add more things to it, like chests, storage, all that kind of stuff. And then to put it back together, it's just the same as creating it. Glue it back together and then create it, and then give it the schedule again. But yeah, this is essentially how you use trains inside of the Create mod. There's a lot you can do with it, and there's a ton more sort of features, advanced things that I haven't necessarily covered. But yeah, you can go ahead and experiment with it. I'd recommend going into a creative world and doing that. and yeah, you'll get some good results. But if you enjoyed the video and found it useful, be sure to like and subscribe, comment down below that it helped, and let me know if there's any other videos you'd like me to make about Minecraft or anything else in particular. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.